oftentimes the people who are in homelessness services for the longest period of time or people who are neurodivergent. So the obvious thing to ask is, well, why is that? And often it's because of either communication differences or sensory issues or issues with executive functioning. So it's useful to sort of see what that can look like and how people, say with communication differences, try to access services. So someone I want to discuss with you guys is a gentleman that we're going to call Alan. So this is for several months. First time the street outreach team met Alan, the most they could get out of him was a grunt. Couldn't get a name, anything. I think it took 3 months to get his first name. And I think a couple months later, they eventually got his surname. So obviously that in and of itself was this challenge. Something that I found quite interesting when I was trolling back through the notes about his situation is the longest conversation I think they ever had with him in those first initial months was with his back turned to the outreach team. And the thing that I was reflecting on with that is that it's very likely that he found making eye contact so difficult and speaking with the team so difficult that it was doing that was more challenging than staying stuck in a situation where he was rough sleeping. So eventually the street outreach team realized that Alan was spending most of his time at the library. They realized he was kind of spending his time playing games online, and they were kind of able to talk to him about his interests and some other things. For the longest period of time, he just kept declining supported housing. He didn't want to go to hostels. And a large part of the reason why he didn't want to go to hostels was because of sensory needs. If you've ever been in a hostel, they can be loud. They can be very overwhelming places. And for him, he knew what that would be like. And he knew that those weren't necessarily safe spaces for him. But it's not necessarily that he didn't want to be accommodated, which is something that I think we can sometimes fall into a trap with. So during the Everyone In scheme, so if people remember that, that was during the COVID pandemic. There was money made available for rough sleepers to go into hotels. Alan went in to the hotel during Everyone In, and he actually moved from that hotel into private rented accommodation. So I think it's the thing that's important to reflect on that is it's not that Alan wasn't bothered with housing or that he didn't want to be housed. It's not just that he didn't want to go through the hoops, it's that he couldn't go through the processes that services were expecting him to go through in order to access housing, or the options he was being presented with weren't suitable for him. But when there were kind of adjustments made, that everything kind of clicked into place.